What happens when you combine the reach of a heavyweight, the speed of a welterweight, and the knockout power that makes grown men think twice about stepping in the ring? You get Hamza Sheeraz, the 26-year-old British destroyer who's left a trail of unconscious opponents and shattered expectations in his wake. Today, we're diving deep into the phenomenon that has the entire middleweight and super middleweight divisions looking over their shoulders. This is the story of how a kid from Slough became boxing's most terrifying rising star. Buckle up, because this is going to be one hell of a ride. Born on May 25, 1999, in Slough, England, Hamza Sheeraz didn't just stumble into boxing. He was born into it. With a father who played cricket for Gloucestershire and a grandfather and uncle who were both boxers, the fighting spirit runs deep in the Sheeraz bloodline. His uncle alone won 10 national amateur titles for the Slough and Pinewood Star clubs. Talk about pressure. But here's where Hamza's story takes an interesting turn. Unlike most elite boxers who dream of Olympic glory and amateur accolades, Sheeraz had different plans. He started boxing at 8 years old at the Dale Youth Boxing Club in London. And while he did win the Junior ABA Championships in 2015 and the England Boxing Youth Championships in 2016, representing England on the international stage, he never had stars in his eyes about the amateur game. As he put it himself, he never set his sights on being an Olympian or going to World Amateur Championships. He just didn't have that much interest in it. Why? Because Hamza Sheeraz saw the bigger picture. He knew where the real battles would be fought. On his 18th birthday, he signed with legendary promoter Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions. And on September 16, 2017, he stepped into the professional ring for the first time. From his very first professional fight, he wasn't here to play patty cake. His debut at the Copper Box Arena saw him stop 35-year-old journeyman Dwayne Green in the second round via technical knockout. But that was just the appetizer. What followed was nothing short of systematic destruction. By the beginning of 2019, Sheeraz was sporting a perfect 6-0 record, with every single victory coming by stoppage. He wasn't just winning, he was erasing opponents. Rod Douglas Jr. dropped 3 times before being stopped in the first round. Scott James demolished in under 2 minutes. Then came the moment that put the light middleweight division on notice. On November 30th, 2019, Sheeraz faced Ryan Kelly, a dangerous fighter with a 14-2 record and 7 knockouts. This wasn't a journeyman. This was a legitimate test. Sheeraz passed with flying colors, stopping Kelly in the 6th round to capture the vacant WBO European Junior Middleweight title. He was 20 years old with a championship belt. The boxing world was starting to pay attention. But Hamza Sheeraz had a problem that most boxers would kill to have. He was simply too big for his weight class, standing at an imposing 6 feet 3 inches with a 75-inch reach. Sheeraz is built like someone who should be fighting at light heavyweight, not middleweight. It's like watching a cheetah race against house cats. After successfully defending his WBO European light middleweight title 4 times, including a controversial 9th round stoppage of former British welterweight champion Bradley Skeet in December 2021, Sheeraz made the decision to move up to middleweight in 2022. And that's when things got really interesting. His middleweight debut came on March 19, 2022, against Jez Smith at Wembley Arena. second-round stoppage.
And he's performing brilliantly.
Yeah, it was Murphy do well as a very best runner.
It's all over, the towel's thrown in, he was counted out anyway.
Sheeraz claimed the vacant WBC International Silver Middleweight title like he was picking up groceries. 4 months later, he faced Francisco Emmanuel Torres for the WBC Silver Middleweight title. This fight would prove to be a defining moment in his career. For the first time as a professional, Sheeraz tasted the canvas. Torres dropped him in the first round. How did the young lion respond? By getting up and stopping Torres in the 5th round to win the title. That's the difference between a prospect and a champion. Champions get up. Champions finish.
And gets caught with that chopping right hand.
From that point forward, Hamza Sheeraz became an absolute wrecking ball. On November 26, 2022, he faced River Wilson Bent in a title defense. Wilson Bent lasted 2 rounds before the referee mercifully stopped the fight.
Oh, he's called it. The accurate work with the jab. Here's a straight right here. Bang from the first bell. And in the second round,
Sheeraz added the Commonwealth middleweight title to his growing collection. And more importantly, he added another knockout to what would become the longest-running knockout streak in British boxing. In August 2023, Sheeraz traveled to Poland to face the undefeated Dmytro Mitrofanov on the undercard of the Alexander Usyk-Daniel Dubois heavyweight showdown. Fighting on enemy territory didn't faze him one bit. He stopped Mitrofanov just 35 seconds into the second round.
get through this round. Oh, what a punch. He goes. What a shot. Short, sharp, delivered, and all over.
The writing was on the wall. This hit was special. But it was his performance on February 10, 2024, that truly announced his arrival. Former world title challenger Liam Williams, a man who had gone the distance with Chris Eubank Jr., was supposed to be Sheeraz's toughest test to date. The fight had been delayed from December 2023 due to a perforated eardrum, which only built up the anticipation. When the bell finally rang at the Copperbox Arena, Williams cut a confident figure. That confidence lasted about a minute. Sheeraz dropped Williams with a devastating jab within the opening 60 seconds.
Williams got to try and do, and he gets caught with a straight shot.
Then, with a short left hook that turned Williams' legs to stone,
Electricity. The full voltage is up. This is an absolute shellacking, and it's all over.
it was over. His corner threw in the towel at 2:36 of the first round. Legendary promoter Frank Warren compared Sheeraz to Tommy Hearns, saying his jab alone could take you out. "The power he has with it is unbelievable," Warren proclaimed. With a perfect record and a reputation for devastating knockouts, Hamza Sheeraz was ready for the biggest stages. On June 1st, 2024, he faced his toughest challenge yet. Austin "Ammo" Williams, an undefeated American star, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This was part of the historic 5 versus 5 Queensberry versus Matchroom promotional war, and Sheeraz was named team captain for Queensberry. The pressure was immense, the spotlight was blinding, and Hamza Sheeraz delivered maximum points with an 11th round technical knockout victory. He retained his WBC silver and Commonwealth middleweight titles, improved his record to 21-0, and proved he could perform on the grandest stages against world-class opposition. 2 months later, on September 21st, 2024, Sheeraz faced Tyler Denny at Wembley Stadium for the European, Commonwealth, and WBC silver middleweight titles. The result? Another second-round destruction. Sheeraz claimed the European title and solidified his position as the #1 middleweight contender in the world. The stage was set for his first world title fight. On February 22, 2025, Hamza Sheeraz stepped into the ring in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to challenge WBC middleweight champion Carlos Adames. This was it, the moment every boxer dreams of, the chance to become a world champion. For 12 grueling rounds, Sheeraz and Adames went to war. Sheeraz showed incredible resilience and power, mounting a strong late rally that had many believing he'd done enough to win. When the scorecards were read, controversy erupted. 115 to 114 for Sheeraz. 118 to 110 for Adames. And 114 to 114. A split draw. The wide 118 to 110 scorecard for Adames sparked immediate debate. Many observers felt Sheeraz had earned the victory, but that's boxing. Sometimes the judges don't see what everyone else sees, but here's what that fight revealed. Hamza Sheeraz belonged at the elite level. He had gone 12 rounds with a world champion and proven he had the heart, the skill, and the power to compete with the absolute best. However, the fight also revealed something else. Sheeraz was struggling to make the 160-pound middleweight limit. At 6 feet 3 inches with his natural frame, cutting down to middleweight was becoming increasingly difficult. A decision had to be made. On March 12, 2025, Frank Warren announced that due to weight issues, Hamza Sheeraz would be moving up to super middleweight, 168 pounds, and would remain there for the foreseeable future. It was the right decision. Sheeraz was simply too big for middleweight, and now he could unleash his full power without depleting himself to make weight. To prepare for this new chapter, Sheeraz made another crucial change. He hired former middleweight world champion Andy Lee as his new trainer. Lee, known for his boxing IQ and technical expertise, would help refine Sheeraz's already formidable arsenal. The duo had just 8 to 9 weeks to prepare for Sheeraz's super middleweight debut against Edgar Berlanga on July 12, 2025, at Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York. Berlanga was no joke. His only loss had been a 12-round decision to the legendary Canelo Alvarez just months earlier. This was a massive test. But if anyone thought Hamza Sheeraz would need time to adjust to the new weight class, they were dead wrong. In what can only be described as a masterclass in controlled aggression, Sheeraz put on a clinic. He weathered Berlanga's early attacks, adjusted his game plan on the fly. In the 4th round, Sheeraz dropped Berlanga twice with devastating combinations, leaving the American visibly shaken. And barely surviving until the bell. In the 5th round, Sheeraz finished the job, dropping Berlanga a 3rd time. Referee David Fields had seen enough. The fight was stopped just 17 seconds into the 5th round. Hamza Sheeraz had done to Berlanga what even Canelo Alvarez couldn't. He knocked him out. So what makes Hamza Sheeraz so terrifying? Let's break down the weapons in his arsenal. First, there's the physical advantage. At 6 feet 3 inches with a 75-inch reach, Sheeraz has the dimensions of a light heavyweight fighting in lower weight classes. He uses his height to control distance masterfully, keeping opponents at the end of his punishing jab, while making it nearly impossible for them to land clean shots in return. Second, there's the speed. Despite his size, Sheeraz moves with the fluidity and quickness of a much smaller fighter. His hand speed is elite level, allowing him to land multiple punches before opponents can react. He's been clocked landing over 40% of his punches in fights, which is an exceptional accuracy rate. Third, and perhaps most importantly, there's the power.
Oh, good shot!
With an 82% knockout ratio, 18 knockouts and 22 wins, Sheeraz doesn't just beat opponents, he stops them. His jab alone has dropped multiple fighters, which is almost unheard of in boxing. When he lands his right hand or left hook, it's usually lights out. He's stopped opponents in the first round, the second round, the 11th round. It doesn't matter when. It's always a possibility. Fourth, there's the boxing IQ. Sheeraz isn't just a savage brawler. He's a thinking fighter. As he showed against Berlanga, he can adjust mid-fight, lose the early rounds, figure out his opponent's patterns, and then execute his game plan with surgical precision. His trainer Andy Lee praised his ability to adapt. That's what makes a good fighter, adapting from fight to fight. Finally, there's the hunger. Sheeraz trains under Ricky Funes at the 10 Goose Boxing Gym in Los Angeles, having relocated from London to chase his American dream. He's surrounded himself with elite-level coaches who have worked with legends like Shane Mosley, James Toney, and the late Diego Corrales. His dedication in the gym is legendary. His training partners have said his commitment inspires everyone around him to work harder. As we speak, Hamza Sheeraz stands at the crossroads of boxing history. With a professional record of 22 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, and 18 knockouts, he's currently ranked 8th by The Ring, 2nd by the WBO, 6th by the IBF, 2nd by the WBC, and 4th by the WBA at super middleweight. The boxing world is at his feet, and the biggest names in the sport are in his sights. The WBC has mandated him to fight Christian Mbili for the vacant WBC super middleweight title. The WBO has ordered him to negotiate with Diego Pacheco for their vacant title. He's been mentioned in the same breath as Canelo Alvarez, Chris Eubank Jr., and unified middleweight champion Johnny Beck Alimkhanali. At just 26 years old, Sheeraz is entering his physical prime. The scariest part? He's still improving. Each fight reveals a more polished, more dangerous version of himself. The raw talent that terrorized domestic-level opposition is now being refined into championship-level skill. In 2021, the UK Boxing Writers Club voted Sheeraz as their Young Boxer of the Year. In 2022, they honored him again with the same award. The accolades have followed him throughout his career, but the thing about Hamza Sheeraz is that he's never satisfied with awards or recognition. He wants world titles. He wants to be undisputed. He wants to be mentioned among the all-time greats. From the gyms of Slough to the bright lights of Madison Square Garden territory, Hamza Sheeraz has carved out a path of destruction that few fighters in history can match. He holds the longest-running knockout streak in British boxing. He's never tasted defeat. He's stopped former world title challengers, undefeated prospects, and everyone in between. But perhaps what makes Sheeraz most dangerous isn't his size, his speed, his power, or even his skill. It's his mindset. He's a fighter who got knocked down by Torres and got back up to win. He's a fighter who drew with Adams and used it as fuel to become even better. He's a fighter who moved up a weight class and immediately destroyed a man who went 12 rounds with Canelo. The middleweight and super middleweight divisions have been warned. Hamza Sheeraz isn't just coming, he's already here. And if you're a champion at 160 or 168 pounds, you better hope your name doesn't get called when it's time for him to fight for that world title. Because history has shown us one undeniable truth. When Hamza Sheeraz steps into the ring, someone's getting knocked out. The only question is, who's next? That's the story of Hamza Sheeraz, the 6-foot 3-inch destroyer who's rewriting the rules of modern boxing. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of boxing's brightest stars, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below, telling us who you think Sheeraz should fight next. Is it Canelo? Is it Mbili? Is it Pacheco? Let us know. Until next time, this has been the inside look at boxing's next superstar. Stay dangerous, boxing fans.